What's going on, guys? It's NYPrepper here. Just wanted to do a quick tinder review. This is a new piece of tinder that I picked up on Amazon, and it's called the Super Cedar Firestarter. And they're made in the Pacific Northwest. They're made out of recycled cedar and highly refined paraffin wax. It says that it burns when wet and is perfect for survival camping and hiking. So I just want to test these out, see how well it burns. I've done some other tinder reviews if you want to check those out. Check out my Firecraft playlist, and I'll put a link up above to my Firecraft playlist. I've tested a similar type of tinder called lightning nuggets, and if you guys remember those, they were like these half circle shaped pieces of compacted sawdust, kind of similar to this. All right, so I just wanted to test these out and see how these work. And so you buy one of these boxes, and it comes with 4 of these like little cookies. You know, they're like cedar cookies. They're wrapped up in this plastic wrap. This is great for a bug out bag, and that's actually what I intend to use this for. Throw one of these in my bug out bag. And what they do is they score it. So what you can do is you can break it up into 4 different sizes, into like 4 different wedges. Okay, you see how they scored it. So this is good for a bug out bag or even a hiking or hunting pack. You can make up to 4 fires with these. I reckon you could even make more than that. So, you know, very lightweight. It's not heavy or anything like that. So I have one over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to light it with my trusty ferro rod. As you can see, it's pretty well used. All right, look at how that big ferro rod got used up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into the wedges like they recommend you do. All right, so you break it. So this is what they look like, and then I'll break it again in half. So here's one of the wedges here, okay? And we're going to see how long it burns as well. So what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to just strike the actual piece right now and see if it'll take a spark. And if it doesn't take a spark, I'm going to scrape off some of the sawdust and see if I can light the dust. Oh, that's all it took. Oh no, wait, nope. Let's see. Is it catching? Doesn't look like it's catching. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like that wax is a little too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave a little bit off the side here with my striker. Try to get a fine dust here. Try to break some off into smaller pieces. Maybe that'll help a little bit. All right. I'm going to break this down into some dust. See if that'll help here. All right, so we got these finer pieces here. Maybe that will light a little bit better. Let's see if this will work. Get in a good position here. It looks like it almost wants to light, but oh, there we go. So, looks like when you shave it down into shavings, it lights up pretty easily. All right. There we go. And now we can light this big chunk here. Get this guy going. Sometimes you just got to give it a little try. You know, if it doesn't light right away, you got to wait a little bit. Don't get discouraged, you know. Some guys that are new to starting fires with ferro rods, you know, it takes a few tries. You're not always going to get it started on the first spark. So you just have to be a little bit patient, but it's burning pretty hot right now. I mean, you could cook a food on this actually if you wanted to. It's burning pretty intensely here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at that. Look at how big that flame is compared to the box there. It's, you know, probably about a good 5-inch flame. There's no smoke or anything coming off of it, so it's burning pretty nicely. So we're gonna time this thing and see how long it'll burn. My guess is it'll probably burn for a good 5 minutes, but I mean, you could probably boil a small cup of water on this right now just with this one quadrant, and if I added, you know, another quadrant, or if I put the whole cake in there, I'm sure it'll burn for a while. So let's see what happens, guys. Let's see how long this thing will burn. I'm gonna set up the camera here and face it down there. These are the Super Cedar Firestarters. Let's see how long these guys burn. All right, it's probably going to burn a good amount because it's soaked in paraffin wax. Now, I don't know how well it would do if it was wet. I'm sure it would probably do okay. You would just have to brush off the water. But so far, so good. I'm pretty impressed. This is the first time I've tested it. So let's see how long this thing will burn. Just open the door to get some ventilation in here so smoke detector doesn't go off. Basically smells like a candle. It's like a giant candle. It's putting out a lot of heat. It's quite a big flame here. And that little pile is still burning. If you guys can see, the little pile there on the left is still burning. That little pile that I shaved off. It's quite a big flame actually. So let's see if I can show you guys the flame. Look at this nice flame there. Look at that. It's a good 8-inch flame, I would say. Burning nicely. Look at that. Super Cedar Firestarter. Not bad. I'm pretty impressed so far. It's burning quite long. Looks like it's still got a lot left in it. Actually, we can even dig up some of these here and move it around a little, and it'll burn a little more. It's pretty impressive. It's not giving off much smoke because it's all wax. So we're just going to hang out and see how long it takes for this thing to burn down. I'm actually going to move this outside, guys. Hang on 1 second here. I don't want my smoke detector to go off. I know I don't recommend you guys do anything like this inside of your house, but I'm in my basement, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to take it outside now that it's lit. Let's move the camera out here. Wipe the screen off. There we go. It's a beautiful night out here, guys. You can hear some owls in the distance. All right, guys, we're about 7 minutes in, and it's still burning. What I'm gonna do is I took another wedge, and I put the wedge in some water here. Okay, it's just a basic Pyrex glass. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this thing soak for a couple more minutes in the water, and we're gonna see if we can light it. After, we're gonna let it soak until the first one burns out. We're going to test this when it's wet, and we're going to see how it works when it's wet. Okay? So, stay tuned. Alright guys, so it's been burning quite a bit already now. It's burning about 15 minutes already, and I'm going to actually take our little cake out of the water here. You can see it's wet. Alright, sorry for the low light conditions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape off some of the wet one here. Alright, let's scrape some of this off. Again, try to light it. Okay, let's simulate rainy weather or something, or it got wet. I'm going to scrape a bunch of this off here. Alright, got a little pile right here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to try to strike it, and this one just burned out already, so maybe what we'll do is we'll just move it around a little. Looks like it's out. All right, so let's try to start this one here. All right, the wet one. Looks like it's burning. Look at that, guys. That's impressive. All right, it was soaking in water for a few minutes, and it is fizzling a little bit, but it's burning. It's just the water burning off. And then this one looks like it's might even be able to. So what I'm going to do now is, now that we got the dust lighted, I'm going to take the wedge. I'm going to put the wedge back in the water now and see if we can't get this wedge lighted once it's wet. All right, so I'm soaking it in water now. As you see, I'm dipping it in and out of the water. And I'm going to try to get this thing lighted wet. Let's see if we can get it started. I think it'll start. Just needs enough heat to dry it off. The actual wedge is not starting, so maybe I gotta scrape off some more dust. Need a little bit more of the dust. And actually what I'm doing is I'm actually going to expose some dry sections here, and maybe the dry sections will light. I scraped off a piece here and exposed some of the dry parts. Okay. All right. You guys got to test your tinder out, okay? Don't just buy tinder and put it in your pack if you never tested it before, because if you got to trust your life in a survival situation and it's not going to work, that's a problem. All right, so let's try to get this one going now. Oh, it's burning. Look at that, guys. I got it going. So all you got to do to get these wedges going, if they're wet, all you got to do is you just got to scrape off a little bit of the outside of the wedge, okay, to expose some of the drier material inside, and then you can get that thing going. All right, look at that little pile is still burning there. So very cool test. So these wedges will burn about 15 minutes. That's very good. You know, the last tinder that I tested like this, made of wood and wax, burned about 8 minutes, and that was the lightning nuggets. But this Super Cedar just burns a lot better. They must compress it a lot more, and they put a lot of wax on it, so that wax just really burns nicely. Refined paraffin wax. All right, so very nice tinder here, guys. This is awesome. I mean, you could easily boil a cup of water on this. You know, if you were thirsty and you had a stream nearby and you needed to purify water, you could easily boil water on this, no problem. All right. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review of the Super Cedar Firestarter. So again, one of these wedges burns about 15 minutes. You can expect it to burn 15 minutes, and you can use it as a tinder source. All you got to do is just scrape off the pieces of sawdust, and actually it's starting to relight. Look at this one here. This is the old wedge, the first one, and it's actually relit. That's pretty cool. So it may even burn longer than 15 minutes possibly. You know, you could squeeze out even more out of it, but, you know, theoretically, you don't even need to burn the whole wedge, okay? You can just use it as a tinder source by scraping the dust off, okay, and using it as a tinder material. And then, you know, the wedge, you can save it for an emergency. If, you know, you have a hard time getting your fire going, if you don't have dry tinder, you can use the wedge as an emergency kindling, all right? But I mean, even this old one here is still burning a little bit. Look at that. You know, that's pretty impressive here, guys. I'm impressed. So look at that. It's burning again. That the first one that we lit, it's caught fire again. All right, and then the wet pile here that I used is still burning. Pretty impressive, guys. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the Super Cedar Firestarter. I'm not being sponsored by them. I just wanted to show you guys a cool fire starter that you can add to your bug out bag or your survival kit. So very cool stuff. I'm going to order some more right now, actually. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.